Hello, this is Roger.
Hi, Roger. It's Clayton at Flow FM. How are you going there?
Good, mate. How are you going?
Doing okay. Sorry for being a few minutes late. I was just finishing off an interview, so we went a bit longer.
That's fine, mate. That's fine. Not a problem at all.
Roger, can I just get your last name, please?
Johnson, Johnsson.
And do you have a specific title or anything?
I'm on the leadership group at Sports Chaplaincy SA, so I'm a sort of a chaplain to the chaplains at this stage. I stepped down from my role as a coordinator last year, and so I'm still on the leadership team.
Okay. And so that's, I found a that's sportschaplaincy.com.au. That's the overall body. You're the SA body?
Yeah, that's right, yep.
Okay, just want to make sure I got it right.
Yep.
Now, Wayne asked me to mention this to you if you're happy to discuss it regarding the Phil Walsh tragedy. He said you were involved in that in some way. I
was more so. We had a chaplain for the Crows at the time, so but I was sort of, I guess, overseeing all the chaplains at that time as the state coordinator. Yeah.
So it's okay to mention that at all?
No, that's fine.
Okay, because I wasn't. I just said to Wayne, because Wayne said ask you. I thought, I need to clear it. He goes, make sure he's okay about it first. So
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, because sometimes I just don't like asking a question and then you get told no, and sometimes rock stars can be very, very finicky, and you ask them a question and they just hang up on you. So
yes, right.
So I thought, I don't want that to happen. So
no. I'm the chaplain for SACA, South Australian Cricket Association.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I had a little bit to do with the Phil Hughes thing.
Okay.
When he died, yeah.
All right. Okay. Cool. All righty. Now the chat we're going to have, it's open ended, so it's not like there's a time limit. I just sort of see how we go.
Yeah.
And when I feel that we better start wrapping things up, that's when I'll ask about how people can get involved and how we can get in contact and all that sort of thing. So that sort of will be our natural sort of end of it all. So just so you're aware of that.
That's fine. If I say my phone number, will I ask them to contact you about my phone number, or what's the best way to go about that?
Can do that, or if there is a generic number that they can call.
Yeah, I mean, if they go to the Sports Chaplaincy website, I'll be able to pick up with that anyway.
Yeah, because I'm just looking. I've just got on the contact details. There's a 1300 number and an email address there. So
it should be contact for South Australia there too somewhere on that.
I think it's all the national stuff I'm looking at. There's WASA. Yes, there is Simon Johnson.
That's right. Yeah, it's my son. Yeah.
Okay, and there's an Office 1300 number for that. That's Western Australia.
Yep.
Okay, all right. No worries. We've got all that.
Yep.
Okay, I'll just check that I'm recording here. Yes, all going good. And I'm ready if you're ready.
Yep, no worries. Go ahead.
All right, here we go. And welcome to Flow FM's Good Friday program. And right now we're going into quite of a different area, but one that's still important this Easter and, for all year. And that's to talk about sports chaplaincy. And I'm joined by Roger Johnson, who's actually a chaplain to the chaplains. Roger, g'day and welcome to Flow's Good Friday program.
Clayton, how are you?
I'm doing very well.
Good.
So just tell me first, Roger, what is the role of a sports chaplain? Are you to provide the prayer before the team goes out there to get on the field of battle and all that? Or am I just sort of simplifying it far too much?
No, that's fine. We're there to support players and club officials and club families through any crisis or any good times that they're going through. Just for that lending ear that they can talk to in a situation where they don't want to talk to the coach, they don't want to talk to the committee, but they want to talk to someone who is neutral in their eyes. And that they, when they do talk to a chaplain, they know that that's as far as it goes, because they don't want how they're feeling sometimes to get back to the hierarchy. They just want to work through it themselves and go from there. So that we're really a strong support person for anybody within the club.
Is that for any kind of club? I mean, am I talking elite level here, or am I talking my local junior footy club and cricket club? What level are we talking about?
Yeah, we talk about elite and it goes right down to grassroots. It's so important to be involved from grassroots as well. And so we're there for people. It doesn't matter what area of sport they are involved with.
Doesn't matter any sport at all. That's good to hear.
Any sport at all. You know, it could be the AFL, could be cricket, could be tiddlywinks, could be anything like that. We're available. And, you know, if any of those clubs need a chaplain or looking at a chaplain, we'd be only too happy to help them out.
You said through the good times and any sort of a time, but I dare say most people are thinking that the time that you would really be needed is when things go bad, when there is a tragedy of some kind. And we know that some of our junior players have struggled and struggled with personal issues and unfortunately have taken their own lives, which we're very sad about. But on that level, how do you go with a local club and coming in and helping them out? What is the process involved? I'm just trying to figure it out in my own mind as to how the conversations would be, and I'm struggling myself. So how do you go with it?
Yeah, it's difficult times like you've just mentioned. It is hard on any club, and clubs with chaplains in, the chaplain will step up to a role from the point of view of just talking to the players, talking to the coaches or any of the sporting club family about what they're going through and how they're feeling about things, which we call a debrief of what's happened. If a club hasn't got a chaplain and they're looking or searching for some help, quite often they contact us either through their leagues or through a contact, and we're able to help them out as well. So just because a club hasn't got a chaplain doesn't mean to say they're not looked after if they are searching for help in any way, shape or form.
There was one or two major tragedies that happened in sport in Australia that I'm sure most people would be aware of in one way or another, and I just want to get you how you cope with that and how you helped out on that. The first one is regarding the tragedy of Phil Walsh, and the second one was Phil Hughes, the cricketer. So what was your role and how did you help all those players and the clubs especially? These are elite, famous clubs. How did you cope with all that?
Yeah, my role, I guess, with the Phil Walsh one is I was a state coordinator for our chaplains here at the time. But the Crows had a chaplain who at that time was probably be 18 months into his role as a chaplain at the Crows, a guy called Mark Purser. And Mark had a phone call at 4:30 in the morning of the tragedy. And they asked him to come down to the club and just be at the door to welcome the players in and help them through it. And as you could imagine, through something like that, players handle things differently because of their characteristics. And Mark was just there to just help them through. Some of them on the talk as time went on, and some didn't. And as you can well remember how really affected the club, especially the players when they played a game of football after that. And so Mark was just there for them, there for the club as well. And Mark ended up taking the funeral, and he was ably supported by Brandon Chaplin from Port Adelaide as well. So they worked together on that, and because Phil Walsh had dealings with Port Adelaide as well. Yeah. So the chaplain there was a good friend of Phil Walsh as well. Yeah. And so it was really, really tough time, and because you got to realise too, there's a lot of pressure from outside with press and all that sort of thing, TV. So yes, they handled that very, very well through a difficult time.
How do you go being the buffer away to keep the media at bay? Because it's a hungry beast at times, especially when it's a famous situation like that. They want information, they want knowledge, they want to get the scoop, if you like. But how does, as a sports chaplain, how do you become that buffer? Because some of these players would have had on their mobile phones, they would have had a media contact, which would have been ringing them. So
it's an interesting one. And as chaplains, we step right away from that if we can. We always say to contact head office if there's anything like that, and that's the national office. And also, quite often in situations like that, the club can have or do have perhaps security people there as well to keep the media away. Like you say, they are hungry beasts sometimes. And, so it's a pretty delicate situation from that point of view because things do get stretched, I guess, from what they should. And so it's an interesting one, and one that we're well aware of. Yeah. Yep.
What about with Phil Hughes? What was your involvement there?
Yeah, Phil Hughes. I mean, it happened in Sydney, and I was back here in Adelaide, and so I was able to look after the rest of the squad at that time in Adelaide. Just be in contact with them and help them through that. Then the SACA asked me to go up to the funeral, so I was able to, with a group of 60 people, I was up there for them as their chaplain, and just to be there, just to talk to them, and just to be that comfort around the place, and everybody handles it in their own way, and not everyone comes to a chaplain, and that's understandable. Some do, and some don't, but we're just there. In a non-threatening way, just to be with them. And when something like that happens, it's interesting how the role of a chaplain sort of, when I say escalates, people look to a chaplain through that time. Yeah. And when things are going well, they don't look to a chaplain as much. So it's a privilege to be in a position of that, like that. And our chaplains encouraged as well with the response that they get from the club organisers and that sort of thing. Yeah, so it's and that was a pretty tough one as well, like everybody knows. And we don't get those all the time. Thank goodness, Clayton.
Yeah, thankfully,
when they do, we're there, and whether it's high elite sport or whether it's grassroots sport, we still get contact and be able to help clubs out.
Roger, one of the things, listening to you talking about those situations, and you mentioned how that that you'd go up to some people and some people you'd have to wait to go. It sort of indicates to me that you're very good at reading people. So how do you know the ones that you need to go to and the ones that you need to sit back and wait for them to come to you?
Yeah, it's some people in the club will say to a chaplain, say, "Hey, look, I think so and so needs." Have an arm around the shoulder, or just spend a bit of time with them, and you do that, and you're just there for them. Sometimes you may not even say anything, but it's the fact that you're there and listening. They're not always looking for answers. They're looking for someone to talk to. And as far as reading people go, it's like you say, there's all different characteristics and different characters. And so you're just mindful of their response, whether you go up and say, "Hi, how are you going?" Some people say, "Look, I need to talk," and people say, "Look, I'm fine, so you just let it go, and eventually down the track, they may come back to you and say, "Listen, I do need to talk now," whether that might be a week, 2 weeks, or a month down the track. So you just got to be available for them at any time.
These are very serious times when a tragedy does happen, but I dare say in your arsenal of things to help people is humour. How do you go about humour in a situation like this?
Yeah, it's interesting. You've got to be careful. When I say do it, when we used to do it, or do a grief, a debrief at a club, and you've got people there. I generally ask them how they're feeling about things in one word. Tell me how you feel. Just tell me how you feel. I don't care what they come out with, Yeah. And some of it's colourful, some of it's not, and that's fine. That's how they're feeling at the time. But as we go through the debrief, I say to them, "Tell me something funny somebody does, whether they're deceased or not. Just tell me one little thing that's funny." And that sort of gets stories going around the group. And so the bit of humour comes into it as well. It's respectful humour. Yep. And so we sort of cover all bases from that point of view.
And it can help with the healing process as well.
Yeah, it does. It makes them realise how real the chaplain is too. He's not someone standing up there and saying, "This is how you should feel." I don't know how they should feel. They got more idea than me how they are feeling. It's a manner of getting it out how they're feeling. Once they get it out how they're feeling, it seems to be a big relief sometimes to them.
Yeah,
they're not sure how to feel.
Yeah, Roger. What about? Well, I've played sport with with teammates of different faiths, and so how do you go with the different faiths? Do some of them object to you being there, and how do you tackle all that? Because I can just imagine at the elite level that could be a very legitimate thing where someone is of a different faith and you're trying to reach out to them and they might not want to reach out to you. So how do you tackle that?
Yeah, we're an interdenominational group of guys anyway, and you respect other people's faith. And it doesn't mean to say you ignore them. You're still as you look at it, you're still friends to them.
Yeah.
And if they feel comfortable with you, they'll come and talk to you and want a bit of a chat. If not, you understand where they're coming from, and you just respect their faith or whatever it is. So yeah, we've had no trouble at this stage at all. I don't think I could say that for any of our chaplains.
Yeah.
They just respect the people who are around and the faith they got, but we're still there for them if they need us.
Roger, are you a sporty sort of person? What's your sporting skills and history like?
Yeah, I get better every year as I go on, Clayton. I used to play football and cricket in the Mallee of South Australia, down Pinaroo, Lamoureux way, a little place called Barilla. And, so I love my sport down there, so it was really good. And, if you catch up with some of the friends you played with, well, we were fantastic players at the time.
So the story goes, yeah.
Stories get better every year.
It's funny about that. Well, can anyone be a sports chaplain? Do they have to be a person, that's come from a faith? Do they have to be a priest, or can it be anyone that can be a sports chaplain? Yeah,
from our point of view, all our chaplains are Christian and are involved in a local church. And that's where we're coming from. I suppose that's sort of the difference. But we're not Christians who'll go in and Bible bash. We don't believe in that at all. That's the worst thing you can do with people who are going through a difficult time. Saying you've got all the answers, you haven't got all the answers. And so, that's what we're looking for, people of, who are Christians and got a heart for people. That's the important thing, to be able to pastorally care for them when they're going through hard times. And when I say good times, whether it's a wedding or a birth or anything like that, we're not there just for the hard times and the tough times. We're there for all times and be part of people's lives. And even going through marriages, people just like to have a chat about where they're at and that sort of stuff. And so we're available for all that as well.
Which is good to hear. Well, if anyone listening right across the Flow Network, and we cover all through regional South Australia, Victoria, and into New South Wales, anyone listening wants to get involved, if they're hearing what you're saying and thinking, this is what I'd like to do to give back to my sport and my community, how do they get involved? How do we get involved to become a sports chaplain?
Yeah, if you go on site with sportschaplaincy.com.au and go to the website, you can click onto that, and you can click on through that. You can click onto the different states, with Victoria, South Australia, Western Australia, whatever. If you click onto South Australia, the state coordinator is Simon Johnson, and either get in contact with him or just get in contact with Sports Chaplaincy Australia, and they'll put you in the right direction if you're unsure.
Yeah, and Simon's has got email contact there, simon.johnson@sportschaplaincy.com.au, and the National General Inquiries number is 1300 518 058. So anyone wants to get involved, they can certainly do that. Roger,
for sure.
Thank you so much for spending some time with us on our Good Friday program here on Flow. Just quickly, the showdown's coming up between the Crows and the Power. Who are you going for?
I reckon the Power will be out that night or that day, so I'll go for the Crows.
Sorry, I'm having trouble hearing you, Roger. You're fading away there.
I know what side of the ledge you're on, mate.
Yes, it's a lonely side here at Flow, yeah, let me tell you that much.
Good on you.
Roger, it has been an absolute pleasure spending time with you today and chatting to you. Thank you so much, and good luck with everything, and hopefully we'll have another chat about sports chaplaincy in the near future too.
Yeah, thanks, Clayton. Look forward to that. Thanks for your time.
We got it.
Yeah, sound all right?
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
Yeah, next time we'll get Simon on if you want to, the state coordinator.
Yep, no worries. Yeah, happy to do that. Yeah,
he'd be only happy to do that. I told him last night what was happening. He said, Did you? And he's my son, so we get on well together. He said, Did you contact the state coordinator whether he could do that? I said, no. But no, it's good. How's the new building going up there?
It is absolutely fabulous. Well, when Simon's ready for a chat, just let us know and come up and do it in our studio, and you can both see yourself.
All right.
Yeah, I've put the challenge there now. So
yeah, you have. You put it right back amongst us, haven't you?
Yeah. So the challenge is there. Whenever you're ready, just let us know. The kettle's on.
As long as Wayne supplies scones and coffee or something like that, we'll be fine.
That won't be a problem. I'll let him know. He's got to have them ready.
Good on you, Clayton.
No worries. All right. Thank you so much, Roger. Look forward to meeting you and chatting again soon.
No worries, mate.
Catch you soon. Bye.
Yep, bye.